Hello, hello there, and thank you for joining us on this lovely Friday afternoon where I am here, rainy afternoon, cozy afternoon we have, and we have here on the line with us my partner in crime, Amy Harrop,
Hi,
and
everybody.
our special guest will want to say hello. Hey, Daniel, how's it going?
Hello there. It's going excellent. Thank you for asking, and thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm very excited about this.
So are we indeed. Absolutely.
We're definitely going to rock the house. So I don't know if anyone's ever experienced a webinar with me before, but it does require a helmet and a seat belt, okay? Because you're definitely going to be speeding along mighty fast.
Yes, I did experience that when I saw this presentation for the first time, so I concur.
All right, and I do want to, by the way, I want to send a shout out to some folks we have on the line here. I want to send a quick shout out to Deidre and Don and Elvie and Gabrielle and Graham. Welcome to you. Thank you for being here. And I also want to send a shout out to Jerry and Joel and Sandy and Sarah and Stephen. And I want to welcome you to today's training. By the way, I am broadcasting from the shores of the Gulf of Mexico in a beautiful little seaside town called Corpus Christi, Texas. That's where I'm broadcasting from. And where are you, Amy and Deb? Where are you broadcasting from today?
This is
I
Deb.
think we got the whole United States
Yeah,
covered
definitely.
because I'm up here in Idaho and Northwest area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm in good old New York in Long Island.
Nice. Nice. Where on the island are you?
Actually right by the water. I'm in Long Beach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So I have some good friends that live on the island, and once in a while I go up there to visit them, and we have a good time. Take the train into the city, and go have some fun. I like it out there. By the way, so thank you for that. I always like to know where you all are. But my question for each and every one of you is, where are you listening? Where are you here from today? Go now to your questions box and type in where you're tuning in from today. We got Steven says North Florida at Jack's Beach. Oh, cool. Steven, I actually retired from Mayo Clinic. Well, actually, yes, it was Mayo Clinic, and I'm sure you know where I'm talking about, there on J. Turner Butler Avenue. And I met my wife at Mayo Clinic, and turn that off, and it was great. In fact, I married my beautiful wife 21 years ago now in Ponte Vedra Beach. There's a really cool little Episcopal church sort of nestled back in the neighborhood back there. I mean, if you've been to Ponte Vedra Beach, you probably know what I'm talking about. And yeah, that was great. That was great. And then thankfully she had the wisdom to put me through school, and she did. So at any rate, I love Jacksonville and particularly the beach. In fact, my first radio show was in Atlantic Beach. It was on WQBR, and it was on the station was on Atlantic Boulevard. Okay, as you went over the causeway from Jacksonville to the beach. At any rate, I digress. Welcome to you, Stephen, and welcome Gabrielle from Philly. We've got Sarah in Durango, Colorado, and Sandy's in Berkshire, UK, and we've got James in a beautiful place, Vancouver City in British Columbia, and Graham is in Stratford upon Avon. Yes, Shakespeare. Yes, Shakespeare's birthplace. Exactly. And let's see, we've got Don in Idaho Falls. Deidre is in Rocket City, Huntsville, Alabama. Nice. We've got Mike in the UK, and oh, no one else has participated. Well, at any rate, it's time to get started has come upon us. So let's actually get the show rolling, and we are recording. Deb and Amy, so I'm going to be quiet here. I'm going to yield the floor over to you, yield the microphone to you, and you get rolling whenever you wish.
All right. Well, again, thank you for joining us live here today. And you heard his voice already, but we want to give a warm welcome to Daniel Hall. And he's got a great workshop planned for us, I should say, for today. And Daniel Hall is a best-selling author, speaker, publisher, nurse, quite a bio, attorney, and sometimes blogger. He is also the creator of the highly popular Real Fast brand of training products. He left law practice 8 years ago to build his publishing business and has never looked back. And Daniel is a true serial entrepreneur, and his list of URLs is longer than a piece of paper. So you can check out Daniel's hub at www.danielhallpresents.com, and we're just really excited to have him on tonight, and pay close attention because he has a lot to share about his experience with Kindle and specifically audiobooks. So thanks, Daniel, for coming here today.
Yep, Dan, I just want to chime in again and say thanks. We're really excited. This training looks great, and we're really looking forward to hearing more about audiobooks and audiobooks real fast, which I think is one of the keys here. So thanks again.
Daniel, do we have you on here?
Yes, we do. I just like keeping a nice clean line.
Okay,
I just muted myself. But thank you so very much. Very much appreciate you having me. And I'll tell you what, I am so excited about being here because I get to talk about one of my favorite things in the whole wide world, and that is digital publishing. In this case, we're talking about audio book, digital publishing. And by the way, one of the reasons why I love digital publishing is it is a way to set up a passive royalty and residual royalty income source. And if you know anything about me, I am all about that. Okay, and I'm mostly excited too because I'm going to show you how to in fact publish audiobooks on today's training, and by the way, from beginning to end. So without further ado, let's actually talk about what we will be covering today, and in fact what my promise is to you, because I'm here to make a promise to you, my commitment to you. In fact, I'm going to show you step by step how to squeeze more money out of your Kindle books and other content by creating and selling audiobooks and other audio content on Amazon.com. Okay, now specifically here, I'm going to show you how to record, edit, upload, and sell your content. So before we go any further, I do a lot of interaction on my presentations, but I want to make sure that you and I are on the same page. Is that why you showed up? Is that why you are here right now? Go to your questions box and let me know, do I have the right audience? Type in heck yes if I do, so that I know that we're all pulling the cart in the same direction. Okay? So I got heck yeses coming in from Sarah and Jeff and Mike and James and Joel and Sandy and Graham and Stephen and James, and more folks rolling in now. Cool. Good. So that is my commitment to you. Now, this is sort of a quid pro quo. I'm going to ask something back from you. Here's the commitment that I'm asking for. I want you to really get full benefit out of our time here together. In other words, I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want you wasting your time. and it doesn't help me, and it sure doesn't help you if you are only going to give me partial attention. So my question for you here is, will you commit to giving me your full attention? Which means, by the way, closing Facebook, turning off your email, and focusing on what I am teaching from here to the very end of today's presentation. I will let you know before you answer this for me, this is going to be actual and actionable training, not some big sales pitch. Of course, we will have an offer for you at the very end of today's presentation, but you're not going to even hear the offer until I have first thoroughly and completely delivered on my promise to you. So, with that understanding, do I have your commitment to give me your full attention all the way through? Go to the questions box and type in heck yes if I do have it, and if not, then you can leave, okay? Because you really, I don't want to waste your time, okay? Oh, heck yes, sir, says James. Great. And 100%, says Steve. Great. Stephen, I'm sorry. All right, so why should we, thank you, I appreciate that. So why should we even care about audiobooks in the first place? Well, I'll tell you why. I've got actually a billion little reasons for it. This is a rapidly growing market that has already surpassed the $1 billion a year mark. And according to the Audiobook Publishers Association, audiobook buyers are higher income earners than non-listeners. And I know you're probably sitting there thinking, well, Daniel, why are you telling me this? What does that have to do with me? Let me tell you what it has to do with you. We are in business to make money. You need to make money if you're in business, right? You have a mortgage to pay, you've got children to send to college, you've got your car payment, whatever it is that's going on you need to make money, right? So as a person that is in business to make money, you want to work with a demographic of people that actually has the money to pay you. And what I'm representing to you is that this group of audiobook buyers is just such a demographic. That's why I'm so excited that you are here today, because I'm going to show you how to tap into this market. Because the fact of the matter is that audiobooks are great threshold products, great first products, in other words. People get introduced to you, your products, your solutions, your services through a threshold product, the first product they buy, like an audiobook, and then because this is a great product to start with, and you can mention some of the other things that you do within your audiobook, they go on to find you in your business and your website, and again, you get to sell higher price products, higher price services, because they found you on say, audible.com or amazon.com, and then you go forward. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why this is so important, that you understand, in sort of your place in it. Also, these folks, audiobook buyers, are by and large better educated. In fact, 21% have completed postgraduate work or hold a doctorate degree, which, by the way, is twice as high as non-listeners. Twice as many of them. That's wonderful news. You say, well, Daniel, what does it have to do with me again? I don't quite get, why are you telling me this? How is that important to me? Well, again, this is a demographic of people who don't, even if they don't have the resources to pay you for your stuff, your solutions, they're smart enough to figure out how to pay you if they truly believe that you have a solution that they want. Okay? Really important. Also, this group of people tend to be 30-plus years old. In other words, again, if you look at the segment of society that has the money, all right, they are, by and large, people that are 30 and greater years old, okay? Again, you want to know this. You want to know that this is a good group to be dealing with. These folks, by the way, these audiobook buyers, are attuned to book trends through reviews and bestseller lists. In fact, listen to this. This is a really cool statistic. The average audiobook buyer buys 17 books a year, audiobooks a year. And that number is much lower for people that buy Kindle books, iBooks, and Nook books. Somewhere in the neighborhood of about 10 to 12 books on average a year for those buyers. So these people actually buy more books. And we'll be talking about why that might be a little later on. And here's another really nice thing, particularly for folks like you on Deb and Amy's list, because if you have Kindle books, because these people are more voracious readers of print books than non-listeners, which means it is much more likely that if they like your audiobook that they will buy your physical or Kindle book if you have them. Now, I want to make sure that we are all of one mind. I'm going to set out my philosophy here, and I want to see if you agree with it. Okay? We're going to undertake a little exercise here. One of my core tenets in my business is to do everything I can to establish long-term wealth, so that everything that I'm doing in my business is helping me to establish long-term wealth that can potentially pay me for the rest of my life. And in fact, after I've left the planet, will pay to my wife and my children and my estate, etc. That is my core tenet, that's what I want to do. All right? So my question for you is that what you want to do? In other words, are you also in business to build real assets for yourself that continue to pay you and build profits throughout your life? If so, go to your questions pad or the questions form and type in, yes, that's what I want. Sarah says yes. And what about the rest of you? Absolutely, says Stephen. Yes, that's what I want, says James. By the way, I ask questions lots of times so that I can take a sip of water. Okay. All right. And then Deidre says, yes, absolutely. Okay, so, all right. So it seems like the vast majority of us here would agree with that. But that's one of the things that we're in business to do, is to build a real business that creates real wealth in our lives. Okay. So here's a little secret. Wealth is built solidly on a foundation of an author's platform. Or said another way, a platform of raving fans who love, who number one, know, like, and trust you, and who will buy your stuff when you have something new to offer. Now, I know that I have a group of people like this. When I come up with something new, they just automatically go buy it. I know that Deb and Amy have a group of people like this. They offer something new, their group automatically goes and buys it. They're a group of raving fans, and Amy and Deb have a group of raving fans. Now, here's the thing. Real wealth, in my opinion, is built on you concentrating, deliberately designing your author's platform. Okay? And what I'm here to tell you is that audiobooks can be a linchpin, a really important part of building that platform, of nurturing that platform. All right? And in fact, I think Seth Godin here in this quote says it pretty well on why audiobooks help to do this. He says, in fact, that it's easier to build a community or a platform with audiobooks. He says, in my experience, audiobook listeners are 10 times more likely to drop me an email or talk about what they heard than book readers. He says part of it is the entertaining nature of the presentation, I think. I probably talk better than I write. And part of it is the nature of the experience. It's going to a different part of your brain. It's kind of like the relationship you and I are building right now as we interact together here. Sort of like that. Okay? And that's one of the reasons why I just really don't want, I want you to see this point, that audiobooks can and should, by the smart marketers, the smart business people, be used to build your platform, okay? Now, big question here is, you know, it sounds like it's $1 billion a year industry, and lots of people are buying lots of audiobooks, but why are audiobooks so popular? Well, let me see if I could sort of illuminate this, elucidate why this is. You see, because listening to audio is the only media you can consume while engaged in some other activity. For example, consumers listen to audio books and podcasts while they commute. I mean, who here among us gets on a plane without something to listen to? I mean, we don't want to waste all that time, right? Or when we go to work out, you know, maybe you visited the gym this morning, and maybe you visited the gym 3 months ago, but I want you to recall the last time you were working out, going to the gym, working out, trying to be more physically fit. And look at the people around you. Recall the people around you. What do they have? Almost 90% of them, usually, about 90% of the people around you, what do they have stuck in their ears? They have earbuds, don't they? And yes, some of them are listening to music, other people are listening to podcasts, and still others are listening to audiobooks. Again, it's the only thing, it is the only media that you can consume while doing something else, and we're all busy. Even work or clean the house or whatever. In fact, my son works for a loan processor, and he does the documents. He sits behind a computer his entire shift, and he checks, correlates, and checks loan documents for mortgages and whatnot. And the entire time that he's working for this company, he's got his earbuds stuffed in his ears, listening to podcasts and audiobooks, because he can do that. And anyone that can do it does it, right? Because we want to multitask. We want to get more in. We want to experience more. We want to be more productive. Audiobooks allows, it is a definite and very effective, probably one of the most effective ways to do that. Okay, that's why it's so crucial that you get in now. And by the way, let's talk about that. I think that this opportunity that we have right now at this time and place on this planet is much akin, or is like, the same opportunity that presented itself to people who got into Kindle 3.5 years ago. Okay? So you are staring down the barrel of an awesome opportunity that very few people know about. Okay? And I want you to understand that. Again, that's one of the reasons why I'm so happy that you are here. One other thing I want to mention here is that audiobooks more and more are being used to teach not only our children to learn to read, but even illiterate adults. And I feel good about that. I feel good about being involved with that. All right? Now, here's how you know. I want to give you definitive proof that audiobooks are a huge player in the marketplace and a growing player in the marketplace. How can I prove it to you? Well, look at the players that are already there. We've got Audible.com, Amazon.com, iTunes.com. These are major retailers. They all jumped in feet first. In fact, Audible, when it first started, was an independent website, and that's all they did was they sold audiobooks. And Amazon, looking at the sort of the marketplace, and looking at what was going on, the big trends that were happening, they swooped in and actually bought Audible.com. So today, Audible.com is a wholly owned subsidiary of Amazon.com. And we all know how great iTunes is and how dominant they are, right? Okay, huge indications, indicia of just how lucrative this market is. Now, this is and I want you to pull in and listen up to this really close, what I'm about to say, because this is really important. Because while the demand is high, supply is low. Let me give you an example here. Roughly for every 100,000 physical Kindle, iPad, Nook books, roughly for about every 100,000 of them that are created, only about 5,000 of them are turned into audiobooks. And you're saying, wow, there's a big group of people out there that never got their books into audiobooks. And the reason why, by the way, that is because it's until recently, it's been very difficult for for authors to get their books into audiobooks, number one, and this was especially true for you and I, for independent authors, independent publishers, information product creators, etc. It was dang near impossible to do it, as I will explain in a little while here. Okay? But here's the rub. Here's what I want you to understand. This is a group of people that exist, or there is a group of people that exist in the marketplace who the first book that they will buy, if it is available, is an audiobook. Let me give you an example. I speak at many events all over the world, actually. And I was at a recent event, and as is typical at an event, a bunch of the speakers will get together after the event and we'll go out and have dinner. And we were speaking, I was at a dinner like this, and across the table from me was a friend of mine, a fellow speaker, and I was telling her I was actually commending a book to her based on the conversation that we were having. I was recommending a book to her. And I was getting her excited about this book and why she needed to read it. And what does she do? First thing she does is she picks up her iPhone, she goes to Amazon, and she buys the book right there on the spot. But which format did she buy? She didn't buy the Kindle version. She didn't buy the physical book version. She bought the audiobook version. And when she did that, I said, why did you buy the audiobook version? And her response to me was very telling and I think applicable to everyone, because here's what she told me. She said, I buy the audiobook version every time first if it is available, because it is the only version that I know I could actually get through. Okay? You get that? It's people will buy the audiobook version because they know that they can walk the dog in the park and listen to the book, or drive the kids to school and be listening to the book. They know that they can consume the material, and that's really crucial that you understand. Okay? All right. So, and again, why the demand here is so high, and again, why you should be getting in now with your audiobooks while the supply is relatively low. Fortunately for you and I, you don't need much to get started. In fact, we're going to go through this right now. Here's the list in front of you of what you're going to need. First, you're going to need a Kindle book, some sort of Kindle book, or any other kind of content for that matter. You're going to need Audacity, which is a free recording software. And if you want to use some other recording software, that's fine, but I'm teaching Audacity. You're going to need a computer, a microphone, a CreateSpace.com account, a spare $5 to have a cover made, and, this is really important, a commitment to yourself that you will produce a quality recording. And my question is, Do you know why I've included this on the list? In other words, do you know why you need to commit to yourself to produce a quality recording of an audio book? Go now to your questions box and type in your thoughts on that. I'd really like to hear it. And while you do that, let me take a sip of water. The question is why you need to commit to yourself to make a quality recording. And Graham says, because it's personal. Okay? We want people to like our content and come back for more, says Sarah. Sarah's good too. And Gabrielle really gets it. She says, so you can get good reviews. What about the rest of you? A good reputation, says Sandy. Yes. Quality equals more money, says Larry. Exactly right. And Dane actually gets a good part of this as well. Dane says because you don't commit to what you don't commit to, you don't do. Exactly. Dedicated followers, says Stephen. So many good reasons, says James. Well, let me tell you the main one. Okay, as I see it anyway. Audiobooks are audio. Okay, they're audio. People are buying the quality of an audio book. So if you have poor quality audio, even if your content is great, you're going to get bad reviews, and you're not going to sell nearly as much, and you won't get repeat customers and all of that. That's really the main reason. Good quality. You should, by the way, you should strive to do the best possible quality you can. That anything that has your name on it, you need it to represent you well anyway. But most especially, you need to get really good reviews. And a part of that is making sure that the quality of your audiobook is good. Okay? All right. So now let's get into getting this stuff. First off, you're going to get Audacity. And it's a pretty easy three-step process. You're going to type in Audacity. You're going to go download it at the Audacity download page. And then you're going to install it. It's a simple three-step process. Okay? Just like that. Then what you're going to do is you're going to set up your CreateSpace account here. Create your CreateSpace account. And at the CreateSpace account, this is really easy to do, by the way. As long as you can create a simple little online account, I don't actually have to take you through that, but you will need this. It's free. Now let's talk a little bit about USB microphones, because you will need a USB microphone. Okay, here is what you need to look at. First off, you need at least a good one. Okay, a built-in microphone into your laptop is not good enough. It will not produce the quality that you need. You're going to need something that looks like this on the end. This actually plugs directly into your computer through a USB port without a mixer. Okay, without a sound mixer. So you just plug that directly into your USB port on your computer. Now, I'm going to recommend, if you can, to get this bad boy right here. This is a Audio-Technica, or AT2020. It is a large diaphragm, studio-grade microphone. And it, by the way, happens to be the microphone that I'm using right now. It is really pretty cheap, in my opinion. I think it's only about $135. Okay, it's only about $135. By the way, You can grab my recommended picks right here at this link if you wish for microphones. You don't have to use that, but you can if you wish. But okay, so let's say you cannot, for whatever reason, afford the best mic, the better mic over here. You need to at least get a good one like this. Now this headset microphone needs to be a USB. This is going to set you back about $35, $35 to $40, something like that. Okay. Now it it needs to have this little styrofoam thing on the end. Okay, it's kind of like a pop guard, and that will help increase the quality of the recording. It'll even out your voice and your breaths as you dictate. So this is really the bare minimum. Okay, a mic like this, but you're definitely going to need something better than what is in your computer. All right, that's built in. All right. Now let's talk about the process here. The process, and here it is. You're going to choose the content, and I'm going to take you through how to choose content that you should use. You're going to record that content, then you're going to publish all that to Amazon. And again, I'm going to show you this step by step. So let's talk about choosing content. First off, you're going to choose content you know is selling in other formats. So check your Kindle and CreateSpace stats and choose the best-selling short book. Short. You see, I don't want you trying to start with a very long project. So choose a book that you can get through quickly, because I want you to go through the entire process before you tackle a huge project. Now, this kind of goes back to my philosophy that I use in my business, and I believe you should use in yours. And here it is. You should make it as easy as possible for your buyers, the people that consume your content, the people that buy your stuff. You should make it as easy as possible for them to consume it. The higher the consumption you have with your products, the more successful you will be. Okay? So essentially, I am employing that principle to you right now. I'm telling you, start with a short book so that you can learn the process, get the results that I'm promising here, and then once you have got the process down, then you can go on to larger and larger projects. And some of you might be saying, well, yes, but my books are already too long. Maybe they're 400 pages, they're 300 pages, they're really big books. I would suggest you take those books and make smaller books out of them. Maybe do a couple chapters, related chapters or segments of that, all right? So that's choosing your content. Once you've chosen that content, you're going to need to prepare your manuscript, because likely the book that you've produced, published, or authored was meant to be read silently instead of aloud. And of course, the goal here is to make your words easier to read aloud. So what I'm going to do is have you consider breaking up long sentences into shorter sentences, because it is so much easier for you, the narrator, to read short, active sentences, and it is sure as heck is easier for the listener to hear that, okay? To listen to it and to consume it. Also, another sort of nuance, subtlety to audio versus, say, print books. I want you to think back the last time you read something. Maybe it was an article earlier today, maybe you read a book last night before you went to sleep, whatever. Think back to the last thing you read. And I want you to recognize that you, personally, will likely scan ahead a little bit. In other words, we may be still reading and comprehending what we're reading, but we've got one eye sort of looking ahead to whatever the next major chapter or the next major subheading, whatever it is, to kind of keep track of where we're going, so we could see as the reader, as the consumer of the written word, kind of where we are, so we don't get lost, right? Well, see, that's a great advantage of the written word, that we could do that. But see, it's much different for the consumer of audio. They only can hear what you tell them. They can't scan ahead to see what you're about to say, right? So here, I'm going to recommend that you add transitions that you may not have in the text itself between major topic changes in chapters. Again, because you want to have, I want you to get in your mind that you take your consumer, your buyer of your audio, gently by the hand, and you're walking them through what you're delivering to them. All right? So an example here, it's kind of a silly example. Let's say that you were dictating a pizza cookbook. And let's say that you had just finished dictating how to make the pizza dough and actually toss the pizza dough and get it on the pan. Here's what you might say to transition from one chapter to the next. You might say, see, that's exactly how to properly toss a pizza. In the next chapter, we explain the proper way to spread the tomato sauce. Essentially, the point here that I want to make to you is you tell them what you've just told them, and then you tell them what you're about to tell them. You bridge the gap so that they don't get lost in the audio. They know where you're going. They feel secure. They don't have to think. That's another big thing, another huge point here. You want to minimize the inferential leaps, the logical leaps that you ask your customers to make. In other words, minimize the amount that you have them think. People don't like to think. It takes effort. You think for them with what you put on, the words you put on the page, and then what you read to them. Really important stuff here. Some of this might seem basic, but so many people blow this. And it screws up the consumption. All right? Okay, so we've prepared your manuscript. We've prepared your manuscript. The next thing we're going to do here is we're going to record. Now we've got our manuscript, we're going to record it. So let me talk to you briefly about some recording basics, how to go about recording here. First off, you're going to record in a quiet place, obviously. Okay? In a very quiet place. Now, let me give you some rules here. If you chose your place where you intend to record to narrate your audiobook, and you could hear a dog barking outside, or a lawnmower, or a leaf blower, or a train going by, if you can hear anything, I want you to assume that your microphone can hear it too. Okay? So if you can't otherwise find a quiet place, I'm going to recommend that you retreat to a closet, and preferably a closet chock full of clothes. Okay? Yes, that's right, folks. I'm telling you to go into the closet. All right? Because this is a great place. You're going to get some of your best audio in there because the clothes are deadening the sound. There's very little echo going on in there. And it's just your voice and the microphone and that relationship that you develop with your listener. Okay? That's what you're doing. You've got to think of one person as you do the recording, and it's almost like a love letter. It's almost that level of intimacy that you are striving for as you record. Okay? Also, sort of in the same vein of being in a quiet place, obviously, don't bring anything that makes noise in with you. So no squeaky chairs or jangly jewelry. Also, be on the lookout. You know, if you've got bronchitis or a head cold or a hoarse voice, don't try to record then, because it will come through on your recording and make things not sound right. Here's another big point. Read only the words on the page. Don't add or subtract. Only read what's there, because if you don't do that, if you don't commit to doing that, you're going to want to ad-lib some things here and there as you narrate. The problem with ad-libbing is most of us aren't very good at it. And we will misspeak and say something we shouldn't have, or insert a pause, some ah, or whatever. and it causes you to make more work for yourself in the editing process. Okay, so read what is only on the page. No more, no less. Also, one audio file for each chapter. So here's a chapter that you're going to read. You sit down and you narrate that. That becomes your first audio file. Then the chapter after that, and so forth. One audio file per chapter. In other words, don't try to make the whole book one audio file. Now let's talk about the manuscript itself as you record. I say that you should print out your manuscript as loose leaf so you could silently turn pages as you read them, or better yet, read from a Kindle, an iPad, or a Nook. They're relatively quiet to flip the pages. Or perhaps the best of all worlds is to use a teleprompter software, just like they use on the nightly news, or the politicians will use when they read a speech, that sort of thing. Now, I want to introduce you to a great one. Okay, there's a great online teleprompter service called qprompter.com, qprompter.com, and I love it. Okay. In fact, let me see if I can pull it up here for you. Let's see, qprompter. Let me show you how. I think we have the time probably to do this. Let me show you qprompter here. And bring it onto this screen so that you can see it. Okay, so this is qprompter, and what you're going to do. A couple things I want to show you about it. First off, you see where it says free for any use, both commercial and non-commercial. In other words, you can use this commercially right there. The other thing I want to draw your attention to is where it says right here, max 2,000 characters. That is an error. That is incorrect, because I have actually put as much as 10,000 words in here, and it works flawlessly. Okay? In other words, plenty, enough room for you to read a chapter, because most chapters are much less than 10,000 words. Okay? So what I'm going to do here, just to kind of show you how this works, and let me open up a document here. Let's grab this just real quick. Let's say that what I'm going to paste in here is my first chapter. I copied something right out of my Word document, and here it is right here. Now, and that's it. That's all. That's my entire chapter. Let's just pretend that it is for demonstrative purposes. Then we're going to come down here and we're going to hit Start Prompter. It's going to pop this page. Okay. Now, to get this to start working here, we're going to hit this button that says Forward, and it will start scrolling here for us. Right? You can see that. Okay. Now, I realize that this might be choppy to you, but that's only because we are on GoToWebinar, who on its best day only gives us about 8 frames a second. Okay? And so this is how it goes. Now, if you want to speed this up, you can control the speed right here. So you can go 4, 5. I actually like to read about speed 6. And as you can see, that just kind of speeds things up, right? Okay, so that is how we can stop it right here. That's how to use this great little teleprompter. So you hit that little forward, and you start recording. And we're going to teach you how to record here in a second. Let me check in with you. Is this the level of detail that you are hoping to get here? Are you happy with what you've gotten so far? I want to check in with you. Go to your questions box and let me know. More than happy, says James. Yes, this is really cool, says Sarah. Way more, says PJ. Thank you, PJ. Yes, this is good, says Gabrielle. Deidre says, love it. Yes, awesome info, says Natasha. Good work, says Don. Brilliant, don't stop, says Graham. I'm loving it, says Stephen. Great. Okay. Cool. Well, I'm going to do the next bit here. Let me bring this out. And we're going to go back to our PowerPoint program. And let's talk about recording. Now I've kind of showed you, we've kind of set you up and got you up to that point where we recorded it all. Now let's talk about recording settings for Audacity and how to record and edit it. First off, a couple things I want to point out to you here is these are our specifications right here that we're going to need to set up with our Audacity program. Fortunately, these first two are default, so we do not have to do these two. They're just default, all right? We are going to have to set these remaining three specifications, and we're going to do these two in one place and this other one in a completely different place, okay? So I just want to give you a heads up there. The other thing I want to do here while I'm talking about this is just kind of give you a little bit of acclimate you to Audacity. And when you want to start recording, pretty simple, you hit this little red circle, and then when you want to edit, you highlight, and I'm going to show you how to do this, by the way. You highlight and you cut out the bad using this, this little scissor icon, okay? So, and I'm going to show you how to do all that right now. In fact, let me pull up my Audacity program and show you how to set all this up. So here's Audacity. All right. First thing you're going to do is you're going to come over here to where it says Edit, and then down to Preferences, and then from Preferences right here, it'll actually pop this little dialog box for us. You're going to choose the sample default rate here with this little drop-down menu of 44/100 Hertz, and then this drop-down menu gets set to 16 bits, and then OK there. All right. Then here you're going to come up to this area. Let's see. Oh, okay. We've already done that. That's cool. Now let me at this point show you how to start recording. You're going to do that. You're going to do that by hitting again the red circle, and watch what happens as I start to record. I am now talking my book. I'm reading through my teleprompter. I'm reading my book, going through blah 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 blah, getting it all done. Right now, I'm going to tell you here and now that you will make mistakes. You will make errors. All right? You will. No doubt about it. So let me show you. First off, I want you to, when you know that you've just made a mistake, in other words, you realized, oh, I misread that, I want you to do one thing. This will come to you naturally eventually, okay? I want you to do one thing. You know you've messed up. You've made an error. I want you to snap your fingers into the microphone like this. Watch what happens when I do this. Look at the wave form on the computer as I make that. You see how it makes that big spike for us? Like that? Once you've snapped your fingers like that, then you pick back up from where you know you have not made an error. In other words, you reread the thing that you made an error about, and you just continue on in your recording. Then when it comes to the next time that you've made an error, you make the error, I realize that I've made the error, I snap my fingers again, like this, right? And again, pick back up to and reread what I've just made a mistake with, right? Okay. And then every time I make an error, I snap my fingers right before I reread what I'm about to correct. Okay? Now, here's the rub. Here's the reason why we do this. Because you want to know easily by just scanning this line without having to reread it, or excuse me, listen to all of it, that if you've made an error, oh, I see, I snap my fingers here. I can tell because it makes these little pointy marks like this. It's very distinctive, right? Very distinctive to see that. So let's just say that we think that right here is what we need to cut out. So I'm going to click right before the area that I know I've made an error. So in other words, right before my snapping of the fingers, the little mark that I've made here. Now, as soon as you put your cursor right on the line here, little play line, you see the little pointy finger? That lets you know that the program is now ready to highlight, and you can now click and hold down and drag your cursor over the stuff that you want out. Now, let's say that this is a long chapter. Maybe you've spent 45 minutes on this, or something like that. You've been working on it a long time, and you forgot what was here, and you want to make sure that you're cutting out the right stuff. So what you do is you, after you've highlighted it, you can actually hit the play button, and it will actually play just this area, and then that you can confirm that that is the stuff that needs to be cut out. Okay, and this is how you're going to edit your entire segment, your entire chunk, or your entire chapter. Now, once you have confirmed that this needs to go bye-bye, be cut out, you come up here to where it says cut, and watch what happens. Boom, it is now gone. It's like it never happened. Now, here is a maxim, okay, in audio editing. You cut out what is bad, and what you have left is good. Okay, it's as simple as that. That's it. You're done. All right, so let's say that you've done that. You've edited everything out that you needed to edit out. The next thing you're going to do here is you're going to save your file, and you're going to come down here and you're going to export. You see right down here under the File menu, you're going to export. And under Export here, you're going to choose the MP3 file right here under MP3 files. Now, I will say, before we go much further, that the first time you do this, the first time you try to save an MP3 file, Audacity is going to ask you to go download a free file called lame.dll, lame.dll, okay? Because MP3s are proprietary, it's a proprietary file format, it requires you to go out and get the lame DLL file in order to save them as an MP3. I mean, this is all completely above board, that's not the issue, but they can't plug it in directly. They can't make it a part of the software. You need to go out and get the free lame DLL to make it work. Okay, and by the way, it will step you through the process. It'll prompt you through that process the first time you do that. Okay? Now, the other thing, we still have this little jewel right here. Remember this guy? This here? We need to set that one. We've set all of these other ones. Those two are default. We set the first two, or the next two, I should say, under the preferences. Now this one gets saved in a different place. So let me show you that where you work with that. And that is right over here under this Options tab. Okay, this Options tab that we see right here. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to click that Options tab, and it's going to bring yet another dialog box. And here you're going to set the quality here to 320 kbps by choosing that and then saying OK. Now, congratulations, you've set up Audacity forever and ever. You will never have to go through all that again, at least not for a CreateSpace work. All right. Now, here we need to name the file. Name the file. I'm going to suggest that you start. In fact, I'm not going to suggest. This is required by CreateSpace. You need to start every file with a number. So for the first one, which one do you start with? What number? We start with 01. And then put in the title. Okay, put in the title of the chapter, whatever it is. If it's a foreword, if it's an intro, if it's an opening, whatever it happens to be, you put it in there. Okay? And let's just say that this is the credits. And then, by the way, then for the next one, the next recording, you're going to make it 02. The recording after that was going to be 03, the next chapter, you see. And that's how you're going to build your audiobook. Then you're going to save it. Now, you're going to do that by hitting this Save button, and watch what happens here. this little dialog box that says Edit Metadata will pop, and you can put in your author's name here, the name of the publication, the year, if you wish, or you can simply say OK and leave all that blank. And when you do, it will render your MP3 in all the proper formats. Okay? So now, boom, you are done. No more. You don't have to worry about that particular one anymore, and you go on to the next chapter. Now, we're going to save changes here. We're saying no, and that is going to take us to uploading to CreateSpace. So you're going to upload to CreateSpace because now you have all your audio files done. You've got them all done. So here you're going to log into your CreateSpace account. Then you're going to hit Add to New Title right there. It's going to take you to step 2, where you're going to name your project, and you're also going to choose the file format. You're going to choose MP3, and then you're going to hit the Get Started under the guided box right there. All right? That's going to take you to step 3, where you're going to put in the author name, your website, and the length of the audio book, the total length. Then you're going to hit Save and Continue there. Then it's going to take you to, well, the next step here is you're going to need to prepare your zip file, your zip folder. This is the zip file that you're actually going to upload to CreateSpace. Now right here, I told you, you need to name your file 01 title, whatever the title of the chapter is, 02, whatever the name of the title is, etc., until you finish them all. Then you're going to need to send all of those audios to a zipped file. You're going to zip all those files up, all those audio files up into one file, and that's essentially what you're going to upload here. And you're going to hit this radio button here that says Upload, and then browse for that zipped file that you've just made. Then you're going to come down the page a little further, and you're going to fill in the track list. Here you're going to put in the names of each chapter in order, 1 through however many. Then you're going to come down to the bottom of the page. You're going to hit the Save and Continue, and then you will get this little dialog box that says Uploading. That lets you know that, hey, we're uploading your zipped file format. This may take a few minutes because these are a big chunk of files, right? Once that's over, it'll take you to this page where it says set the UPC up, and here you're going to want to choose use a CreateSpace assigned UPC and then assign the free UPC. And as soon as you hit that button, this little dialog box will pop saying, hey, we've just locked down this title with this UPC number, and you will hit Continue right there. Then you're going to go to step 7, which is the Submit for Review. You're going to look all of it over. Then you're going to hit this button here. It's going to send all those files into the review queue at CreateSpace, at which time you're going to need to go back and to the Choose a Sales channel for this. You're going to choose Amazon MP3. Then, by the way, this is where you're going to choose as soon as you hit that button, it's going to pop this. This is where you choose your royalty. Now, let me tell you, let's talk about royalties here real quick. The royalties are based on the length of them, the length of time. So, in other words, if it's a short book, in this case, this was a 30-minute book that I uploaded. It gave me these price choices. So you don't get to say exactly how much to charge for your audio book, but it gives you a range from frontline to special deal. In this case, I chose the catalog setting. You can choose any of them you wish, whatever you want to charge for it, as long as it's on this list. Okay. Then further down that page, you're going to choose the genre. You're going to choose the miscellaneous here, and then whatever is most apropos for the content you are publishing. In this case, I was publishing an instructional book. It was a how-to audio book, so I chose miscellaneous instructional. But if you look down that list a little further, you'll see that there are spoken word and interviews, self-help, etc. So you just picked the genre that is most apropos, most appropriate to what you're publishing. Then you will need to design and upload your cover art here. And let's talk about that. It's going to need to be a JPEG, 1448 square pixels, and it may not include an audio CD or a product shot. Now, I recommend that you simply pay $5 to somebody on Fiverr, give them these specifications, and have them do it for you if you don't want to mess with it. Okay? Then you're going to take that audio file to the very next step here, and you're going to upload the cover process, right? You're going to browse for the JPEG cover. Then you're going to hit save, and as soon as you hit save, it'll get another dialog box that says uploading, and it'll look like that. Then here you're going to just hit complete. Complete. It's going to bring up this dialog box basically telling you, hey, you've done everything you can with all these little green check marks. The ball's now in our court, Create Space Court. We need to review all your files. Fully. Great. Okay? And congratulations, you have just published your first audio book, okay? And in about 2 to 3 days, you'll get an email from Create Space that looks like this. It says, congratulations, the source files for the name of your project have been reviewed and meet submission requirements. And then they tell you, go on and set up your sales channel, which I've already taught you to do. So you're good to go. As long as you've done that, this thing's going live and can potentially make you money. Okay? All right. So let me check in with you here. Have you liked what you've heard so far? If so, go to your questions box and type in heck yes. If I've delivered on my promise so far, go in and type in heck yes into the chat area, or I'm sorry, the questions area. I want to know again that I am pleasing you because I am here for you. Okay? So we've got James says, heck yes, sir. Yes, all great stuff, says Sandy. Steven says, I love what I see so far. Thank you. Amazing, says PJ. Thanks so much. Heck yes, says Jeff. Taffy says amazing. Ron says heck yes. Dane says yep. Carlos says nice. Graham says it's excellent. Unfortunately, somewhat hurry towards the end. Yeah, that's right. I only allotted basically an hour to teach you all that. Okay, so yeah, it's a lot to cover. It's a lot to cover. Agreed. All right. So I have a question. I have a question for you. Here I have a question for you. Now I want you to read this question on its face. In other words, don't read into it. This is not a trick question, what I'm about to ask you. And just what do you think is best for you? All right? Option number one is it better to be published on Amazon.com only? In other words, publishing your audiobook only on Amazon.com? Or is it better under option 2 to publish your audiobook on Audible.com, iTunes.com, and Amazon.com? Okay, so my question to you is option 1 or option 2 better? So go down to your questions box and type in either 1 or 2, depending on what you decide. I'd like to know how you feel about this. See, Jeff says 2, Carlos 2, everyone, Sarah, Stephen, Graham, Kath, Mike. Dane says, whatever you say next. I love it, Dane. Thanks. Natasha says 2. Deidre says 2. Option 2 says James. Joel says not sure. Okay. Well, folks, I'll tell you what. I get this question. I get the following question very frequently. And the question I get is, Daniel, you know publishing, you're pretty good at it, so make a lot of money with it, etc. Is it better to publish my stuff as a Kindle book or an iPad book or a Nook book, or should I put it up on CreateSpace and make it a print-on-demand book? Or maybe I should make it into an audio book, or maybe I should make it into a video project, or maybe I should just leave it up on iTunes, or I get these questions. What should I do? And my answer to this always is a question right back at them. And I'll say, do you know how your prospect, your potential clients, your potential buyers are approaching you? Do you know, in other words, what kind of hardware they have in their hand? Do you know whether they have a Nook book and they want to buy your stuff on Barnes & Noble Nook or on Amazon and they have a Kindle in their hand, or they have an iPod and they want to download your audiobook? And the answer to that is you don't know. Therefore, it is in that view, obviously, option 2 that is the best choice, because you want to cast the widest net possible, right? Now, here's the good news. It's possible to accomplish this. In other words, it's possible to accomplish getting your books up in the iTunes, Amazon, and Audible, all 3, but unfortunately, it takes more than just one simple 1-hour webinar. In fact, I have a story for you. It's a pretty compelling story. It's a story I think you will enjoy. Let me share it with you. Now, you may not know this about me, but I am an absolute Kindle and Nook maniac. In fact, I took this screen capture off my Pubbit account, my Barnes & Noble Pubbit account, and here's a page from my Amazon Kindle account, my KDP account, and you can see here that this is 27 pages of Kindle titles with 100 titles per page, and I've got 2,551 titles up on Kindle and Nook. As I said, I am a maniac when it comes to Kindle and Nook. All right, I'm out there practicing what I preach. And my core business tenet, and I've shared this a little earlier with you, is to get as many different income sources as possible, all profiting without any further attention from me. These are like set it and forget it profit sources. And I was looking for a way to leverage all of my Kindle, my Nook, and CreateSpace titles that I have up and working. Okay? And you should be thinking along these lines as well. And audiobooks seem like the natural progression. So several years ago, I recognized this, and I started looking into publishing audiobooks. And I very quickly learned that the 800-pound gorilla in the marketplace was Audible.com. And I started to look for a way into Audible.com. And essentially, I was locked out at every turn. As a matter of fact, no matter what I tried, I just could not get into Audible. I could not do it. I mean, I wrote them emails, I telephoned them. I even went so far as to try to reach out through LinkedIn to their executives through LinkedIn. It got me nowhere. Zero. Eventually, I found a backdoor way, and that was through CreateSpace, which is the method that I taught you today. And while it works fine and is better than nothing, it is not perfect. Okay? For example, you could only put your book up on Amazon, and it doesn't even go into the audiobook category on Amazon. It's actually in music, and you also cannot include a description for your audiobook. So I kept looking, and all the ways I found to professionally produce these audiobooks started at around $2,000 per book. Now, I'm a guy, perhaps much like you, I'm used to publishing my Kindle books for free. So this was akin to somebody asking me to pay $2,000 to publish a Kindle book. I just wasn't going to do it, right? Just doesn't make economic sense. Fortunately, one day my trusty assistant Cheryl forwarded me an email newsletter from Amazon, and she wanted me to read it for some other reason completely unrelated to audiobooks. And as I was scanning those articles, I saw mention of a special program that Audible.com had launched just for authors, and my antenna went up. You know, I started to get goose pimples on the back of my neck. I got my spidey senses started tingling, and I started to dig. And fortunately for you and for me, I hit pay dirt. What I found was that Audible had finally cracked the door open to people like you and I, independent publishers, independent authors, information product creators, and internet marketers. Okay? And that, frankly, got me very excited. And I just immersed myself in it. I learned the ins and outs of producing high-quality audiobooks. I learned how not only to get my books up on Amazon, but also up on Audible and iTunes, too. I also learned, now I'm a busy guy, okay? But I also learned how to get my books professionally narrated so I did not have to take the time to do it myself. All with no out-of-pocket expense. And eventually, all of this know-how would become my training called Real Fast Audiobook. So my question for you is, and I want you to respond to this, can I take a few minutes here to show you what I have created for you? Go to your questions box and is it cool with you? Can I do that? Okay, cool. Thank you for that. So let me tell you about Real Fast Audiobook. It is a complete online video training program that, again, will take you gently by the hand. You know what my philosophy is when it comes to helping you, people that are consuming my products. I want to help you to see the results that I'm promising. Because I know, just like Deb and Amy know, that our success is directly hinged on your success. So I take you gently by the hand and show you exactly how to professionally produce your own audiobooks with no guesswork and no wasted time, because I have already blazed the trail for you. So here's what you get. We're going to show you how to record your own audiobook if you wish. You don't have to, okay? Or if you wish, you could hire a professional narrator to produce your audiobooks, again, with zero out of pocket. We're also going to show you in this training how to design compelling, eye-candy audiobook covers and then upload both your audio files and cover art and submit them for publication. Okay? And this is a completely different system, completely different marketplace than the CreateSpace one I showed you today. Then we're going to show you how to get in the path of traffic. In fact, we're going to show you how to get your books up and for sale on all the major marketplaces, including Amazon.com, iTunes.com, and Audible.com. Then we're going to show you how to use the power of social media marketing to sell more of your audiobooks. Now get this, without chewing up your entire day, because you know, you and I both know that if you let it, social media will just chew up your entire day, and you'll get nothing done. You won't engage in any money-making activities. It will just be you being social. I'm not talking about that. If you know anything about me, by the way, I am a major bang kind of guy. In other words, minimal effort, minimal money for the maximum benefit. So that's what I try to do in my own business and what I infuse in all of my products so that you know how to do it too, including and especially Real Fast Audiobook. So we teach you how to do that. Then we also teach you how to get reviews that sell books. Now I want to make sure that we're all on the same page on this, okay? Because I'm not talking about the Amazon.com reviews. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about getting sales-producing professional reviews for your audiobooks. In fact, we even show you a review request syndication service. So you can ask for reviews instead of just one, one-off, one reviewer at a time. No, so that you can ask many reviewers at the same time. Again, we want to leverage your time, leverage your efforts. We also show you how to build audiobook sales sites, because in my opinion, it's not enough just to sell them on the big three, Audible and iTunes and Amazon. You also should be selling them on your own audiobook websites, and we teach you how to do and build sites like this, okay? Then, this is a kind of a cool thing, we show you how to harness the quick response codes to sell more of your audiobooks. In fact, if you've got a smart camera, you could scan that and see what it does, okay? We also then will show you how to maximize your royalty payments so you can make more money out of your royalties. But it doesn't end at royalties, because in addition to that, we actually show you how to plug into a special program that can pay you an additional $1 for every audiobook that you've authored that sells over and above your royalty payments. So this is your royalty payments you get, and this is over and above that. All right? And in addition to that, we show you how to earn an additional $25 on top of all that by plugging into another special program that, again, pays you in addition to the royalty and to the $1 payment. Now, I would like to show you this little jewel. This actually gets me really excited. These were programs, WhisperSync and Immersion Reading, that Amazon announced back on September 7th of this year. This is awesomeness for you and I. It's huge. And let me explain the programs, and I'll explain why it's so awesome to you. Essentially, what the WhisperSync program here is it allows your buyers to upgrade their purchase to not only buy your Kindle book, but also to buy your Audible book at the same time, and then it offers to sync the two. So how this works is that, let's say your buyer likes to read at night. They're reading your book at night, and they go to sleep. They turn off their Kindle, reading your book. They get up the next morning. They head to the gym. They plug in their iPhone, and then they can pick up listening where they stopped reading. So as it says here, you read one page and you hear the next. That's pretty awesome. That's a cool feature, and it makes you more money because this is an upgrade, right? It's an upsell to the process of your your Kindle books. The other thing they announced at the same time was the immersion reading. Now, I call this karaoke for Kindle, because what it will do, if they choose this option, this upgrade, is it will actually read the book for them while highlighting the words in their Kindle at the same time. As I say, it's like karaoke. And again, this is another upgrade. And of course, if Amazon makes money, they share that with you. Now, I want to make sure that we have an understanding here, that you and I have an understanding at this point. I'm going to tell you that this was not, okay, this is not an automatic deal. In other words, just because you start putting up your audiobooks does not make you eligible for this WhisperSync and Immersion Reading program. Okay? Does not. All right. So, you know, what I did, because I knew that this was on the horizon, and I knew that no one had written about this or discussed how to get our books in it. I actually I scored an interview with an engineer at audible.com, and I basically just asked them. I said, hey, look, I'm putting Real Fast Audiobook together, and I know a lot of people are going to want to get into the WhisperSync and Immersion Reading program. There's nothing out here. You don't describe how to get in the programs. Can you tell me how to increase their chances of getting in this program? And they shared with me some pretty specific details on how you can increase your probabilities of being accepted into the WhisperSync and Immersion Reading, and that is in this training. Then finally, we show you how to do an audiobook trailer. That is in here as well, okay? Then, let me show you the inside here of the audiobook, Real Fast Audiobook members area. What I want to point out here is that you're going to get 17 step-by-step, short, concise, but detailed videos that show you the way. Hey, look, I know that you're busy. I realize you can only devote a certain amount of time to your education every day. So I specifically made these short, very concise, yet detailed videos that will help you achieve the results that we're promising here. In other words, get your book up onto Amazon, iTunes, and Audible. In fact, I took it one step further because I made all of the videos downloadable. In fact, they're HTML compliant, which means all of the videos are downloadable and playable on your iPad or iPhone. Okay? So you get that option as well. Now you're probably asking yourself, damn, this sounds good. And it is good. In fact, it's better than good. It's great. You're saying, but what's the investment? Can I afford it? I'm telling you folks, you can't afford not to do this if you want to do audiobooks. And now, by the way, is the time to start doing them, right now. But I could easily sell this training for $997. In fact, I am ignoring advisors and certain joint venture partners. Fortunately, by the way, Deb and Amy do not fall in this group because there are certain joint venture partners that won't do a program unless you have $1,000 at least price tag. Okay? But these folks were advocating me selling this program for even more than $1,000. They say we'll probably have fewer buyers, but we'll end up making much more money with a lot less customer service. And I realize that. But here's something you may not know about me. This is really not about the money for me. It really isn't. I make plenty of money. In fact, my accountant recently told me that we're on par to, we're coming in just under $1 million this year with a 3-person company. Okay? So my children thank you. Okay? So it's not about the money. It's actually about helping the maximum number of you I can build better, more abundant lives by helping you establish as many different freestanding profit centers as I can. And I feel like audiobooks are a part of that equation. So what I've decided to do, against advice, okay, is to set the organic traffic sales price on my site at $397. And if you go to realfastaudiobook.com, that is how much you pay, and we have people paying this all the time. And by the way, it is a bargain at that, a bargain. Okay? But you know me, and if you don't know me, you're about to, because I always make it worth your while to be on my webinars. So what I'm going to do is a webinar-only, time-limited special offer of, get this, only $247 or 4 payments of $77. Now the place where you go to get this is realfastaudiobook.com/GoAmyDeb. Go Amy Deb. As a matter of fact, let me plug it here into the chat and make sure that you all can see it. Make sure that the link actually works. If you could confirm that for me, I believe it does. Go Amy Deb. And okay, I just sent that to all of you in the chat area. Can you go check that out? Can you click on that and confirm that it works? Does that work? Steve says it works. Okay, cool. Excellent. Thank you for that. All right. I do want to let you know that this is backed by my 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. That means you must be completely delighted with your purchase. Okay, you must be confident it will help get your books up and selling on the big 3 audiobook marketplaces, Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. And if you are not happy for any reason, just let us know by putting in a ticket within 30 days of purchase for a full, no questions asked refund. And by the way, I don't hide like other marketers. They'll sell you something, and then you can never find them again. They don't respond to emails, none of that. I actually have a great product support site. In fact, it was so great, I named it greatproductsupport.com. And if you, for whatever reason, want a refund after you've tried this out, no problem. Just let me know within 30 days, and you'll get a no questions asked complete refund. Okay? So, and you need to do that at greatproductsupport.com. But again, if you know anything about me, I always do no-brainer deals. You don't even have to think about these offers because I pack so much value into them. That's, of course, on purpose. I want to maximize sales. Don't get me wrong. I want you to pay me a lot of money throughout our lifetime together, but only in relation to the value that you get from our relationship. Just a small, teeny tiny fraction of what you get. Okay, and here's a perfect example of that. Because here in big bonus number 1, you're going to, and this is for those people that are interested in doing their own recording, we provide complete recording software using the free but super powerful Audacity software. Now, in fact, there are 5 step-by-step videos and audio showing you exactly how to record professional sounding audio worthy of your audiobooks. And in bonus 2, we show you how to do your own cover art, because we have a 28 video training on how to do simple graphical design so you can create your own audiobook covers, and by the way, any other kinds of graphics that you need in your business, using the free program called GIMP Shop. Now, GIMP is a powerful graphics program that rivals Adobe Photoshop, but it is completely free. And we show you how to download and use this program to design stunning audio covers. And in big bonus number 3, we actually show you how to build an audiobook website with WordPress. Now, in my opinion, WordPress is the best platform that you could use. It's a content management and blog software, and WordPress is another free but very powerful program. Now, the problem with it is it's sometimes difficult to get it to do what you want it to do. That's why we are including a complete WordPress training that's A to Z WordPress help. So whether you are a beginner, intermediate, or advanced WordPress user, you'll get tons of useful WordPress know-how from this training. In fact, there's over 25 videos covering everything from installation to customization and everything in between. These are these 3 bonuses that I've just described for you. These are 3 completely freestanding courses unto themselves. Okay? Again, I just want to rack up the value here for you. And again, all of the risk is on me. I want to remind you of that. Just try out Real Fast Audiobook. Kick the tires for a full 30 days. And remember, if you're not happy for whatever reason, you're covered by my personal guarantee. Now, let me just tell you, we're coming to the last of my bonuses here. This is a big one and a great one. Because what I've described so far is only is only an information product. And as good as any information product is, and by the way, this is a damn good one, as good as I can make. And I can make really good products. You know, I can make really good products. But I know that it's not perfect. I realize that. I know that you may get into this training and you may come across a question specific to your circumstance that's not covered in the training. That's why I have you covered there as well, because you're going to get support too. I have started a closed, private Facebook group called Real Fast Audiobook, where not only do you have access to me, but also access to the group thing. People helping people here, and it's a wonderful thing, where if you do come across a question that's not answered in the training, you have a resource. You have something to fall back on. Because as I said, I've said it several times, this is the 3rd time I'm saying this, I am serious about you getting the results that you want and that you're investing in when you get Real Fast Audiobook. Okay? I want you to get that. So, if everything I have said so far hasn't pushed you over pushed you out over the fence, right? To get you to make a commitment, a decision to make an investment in yourself, this one might, probably will. I call it my epic blowout bonus. And here's what you're going to get. You're going to get free tickets to my $2,500 weekend event called Selling Electrons University, which is tentatively set for this May 4th and 5th, 2013, here in Corpus Christi, Texas. All right? It's going to be chock full of ways to help you sell more electrons and set up passive revenue sources. Now, this, I will be very honest with you, this is my first live event, okay? And I'm going to really do my level best, like everything I do, to over-deliver. And you're going to be a part of history being made. So whether I soar like an eagle or go down in flames, you'll be there to witness it, and we'll get to hang out either way, okay? So where you go to grab this is at realfastaudiobook.com/go-Amy-Deb, okay? Now, a couple things I want to handle before you grab this. Here's some frequently asked questions, okay? I always get these on all of these trainings that I do. And first big one was, can people outside the United States use this audiobook system to get their books up on iTunes, Amazon, and Audible? And the answer to that is not yet. Not yet. Currently, the service is only open to U.S. residents. Okay? However, there's no promises here, but this will probably change just as it did with Kindle Direct Publishing and CreateSpace before it. In fact, their website says as much, all right, that they're looking forward to opening up the worldwide marketplace to everyone. It just hasn't happened yet, and I don't know when it's going to happen or if it will happen. But I just want to let you know that before you make the buy decision, before you get in. Now, let me tell you how to handle this if you are outside the United States. Okay? I want you to go ahead and make the investment. Once you do, you can get into the Real Fast Audiobook closed Facebook group. There are other fellow members who are looking to joint venture with you. They're looking to do that. And the deal that I would make with them is that you will produce everything, put it up in their account, and you split the fees. You split the royalties out of that. Whatever comes from that, you split. Okay? But as soon as your country opens, that the relationship ends, you take that down off their page, and you republish a new version on your own. Okay, that's how I would recommend you handle this. Okay, now another big question I get is, can you publish public domain and private label rights content? And the answer here is no, you cannot. No, you cannot. But for those of you that stick around until the very end, I will give you a little bonus training on how to get as much content as you could possibly ever use, quality content that is neither public domain nor private label. All right? And it's also free. Okay? You're going to love that. So you're going to need to stick around to the very end until I reveal that. All right. So here is how to order. Sometimes people get messed up on this. First off, you're going to need to fill in your email address. So in other words, first step, go to realfastaudiobook.com/go-Amy-Deb. Fill in your email address, then your country code, so your state or province, and then right here you could go either credit card or PayPal. All right, you need to fill those 4 fields out first, and then hit the Add to Cart button. All right, and then hit the Add to Cart button right there. So that's how you do the ordering. Now, I'm going to open up the floor here for questions, and Amy and Deb, if you will field them, that would be wonderful. And we could start that right now. Okay, folks, listen. I just turned off the recorder. Okay, so what I'm about to say, people on the replay will not hear. This is a little bonus for you being here. So I want you to if you've gone away and not paying attention, I want you to come back to the screen and listen up, because I got something really, really good for you. Okay? Here's the deal. Here's the deal. For those people that are here now, if you navigate over to realfastaudiobook.com/go-Amy-Deb, instead of paying $247, you can get it You can get the entire training, all the bonuses, the free tickets to my event, the Facebook group, all of that stuff for only $199. But it only is on this webinar while we are live. I want to reward you for being here, sticking with me all the way through. And this is how I do it. I actually put $48 back in your pocket. Okay? Or if you want to do payments, I actually chop off a payment for you, where it's instead of 4 payments of $77, which is what the people on the replay will pay, it's only 3 payments of $77. Again, only if you act right now while we are on this call. And I have to leave right up at the at the top of the hour, which only gives you about what's that, 23 minutes to accomplish this, to get through the order process. Okay, and the place where you go again is realfastaudiobook.com/go Amy Webb. It's also in the chat area. And any questions on that special deal before before I turn the recorder back on? Any questions about the $48 I just put back in your pocket?
That's really generous of you, Daniel. Thank you so much.
You are very, very welcome. You are very, very welcome indeed. It's and again, I want to reward people that stuck with me all the way through, and that are still here. Yeah. So does it look like, I guess everyone understands that deal? So let's actually turn our recorder back on and start fielding questions. And Amy and Deb, if you will ask the questions and field those for me, I'd appreciate it. Well, give me, if you'll do that for me, and Amy and Deb, if you'll do that, it'll give me a chance to get some water here. Field these questions for me.
Yeah, take a little breather. You did an excellent job. So much content, quality content. It was really amazing. I mean, thank you once again. I know a lot of things actually that you said tonight hit home for me. And Amy and I kind of always joke about this, how she's the reader of the partnership and I'm the listener. I learn so much better listening than I do reading for some reason. And I guess that's a reason why you know, I'm one of those people who also first goes to the audio book before I go to the written book. So, and I know that a lot of other people do that too, which is, you know, a reason why this is going to be so great for people who already have books that are published. So
excellent.
Yeah,
you're absolutely welcome. I'm glad to do that. I'm glad to do that.
All
okay.
right. So we're looking through the questions. Yeah. Here's a good question. Can you have an audio book while you're also on KDP Select, I guess they're saying?
Absolutely. In fact, I was saying that what the end goal is, if you have a book up on KDP, is you want the analogous audio book so that they can sync them together in the immersion reading and whisper sync program, thereby making a dynamic duo of a power upsell.
Yeah, and just a clarification on that, I know that Amazon has a lot of rules and regulations when it comes to KDP Select. Do they mind if it is on an Audible or, well, I guess you said that CreateSpace owns Audible, like, you know.
Exactly.
So, and what about iTunes then?
Well, the platform, Audible platform, actually syndicates it to iTunes automatically. So you're not actually publishing that version on iTunes. You're only publishing the audiobook version.
Got it. Okay. Thanks. Looking here, I know I flagged some of these. Another one is, do you send all chapter files to the same zip file?
All right. Yes, the same zipped file. Yes, you do. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
In the training that we did today, yes, that is correct.
Now, does Amazon require that you have those individual files, or is that something that you're just recommending for the best user experience?
You must upload a zipped file full of your full of your chapters, O1, O2, O3, etc. Is that what you're asking?
Well, let's say you have like a short story, right? And it's like, I guess maybe, let's say it's like 50 minutes of content. Do you have to break that up or is that like a requirement for this, or can you just do it in one file and then zip it up?
You could, but then you're only putting it in one track, and then people can't skip around in it.
Okay. So it's
You
a better.
you could definitely do that if you wish.
Okay. So it's better ultimately for the audience to have it in separate tracks so that they can like bounce around instead of, I guess, have to listen to it in one sitting.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I mean, if it's a short book, even the little 30-minute book that I did to make this training with, there was, I think, 8 different chapters with that.
Okay.
By the way, while you're doing that, the place where you go to grab this very special deal is realfastaudiobooks.com/GoAmyDeb. Or if you're listening to a replay, the link is likely right below where you are now watching. So that's where you go to grab this deal. By the way, this deal, the $247 deal, is time limited. In fact, you will probably see above this a ticking timer. Okay, when that timer ticks down to 0, this page automatically disappears. Okay, so grab this deal before that happens. Okay, you must do that.
Yeah, it looks like there's 15 minutes left to that special offer. So grab that up. Here's a good question that you probably have a lot to say about. Carlos asks, is there any good way that we can outsource the audio part?
Yes, that is a major component of this training. I said that we show you how to a couple different ways to either get a professional narrator that you pay up front, or there are actually ways to do a royalty share with the narrator. And you're saying, well, I don't want to split royalties. Well, stop to consider this before you poo-poo that idea too quickly. Consider this. You're a busy person, right? And probably you may be too busy to actually do the recording like I am. I really can't take the time to do this myself. So I have to outsource it. And I get a very professional sounding finished product completely done for me, mastered, uploaded, the whole thing. Okay? And you're saying, well, Daniel, but you're still sharing royalties. But here's the thing. Here is the thing. Yes, it's true, you're still sharing royalties, but if you choose your narrator wisely, and we talk about this, then you actually have a partner in that product, and there are certain narrators out there that have their own followings. Okay? That means there's 2 people with followings that are likely to buy the book. Let that sink in for a second. That is awesome if you really get that. Because you have 2 people now out there hawking and trying to sell the book. So think about that. Think about that. All right, and by the way, we tell you how to go about choosing folks as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Oh yeah.
I need
Sorry.
to mute myself here just for a second.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Sure. I was actually going to read a question from someone who just left, but I think it's a good question. So I'll wait till Daniel gets back, but go ahead and take advantage of that generous offer that Daniel made for, I guess, the next 12 minutes. It's going to expire, and it's completely worth it. I know that I had a chance to go through the training, and it's exactly what Daniel said, straight to the point, short videos that don't, just go right to the point so that you can dig right in to the information and get what you need to continue on and get your first book out there up on audio format. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Kath asked a good question. It's a forward-thinking question, I think. Is it okay to record other people's books too?
Ah, okay. Now here is a big doggone market, huge market, right? Here it is. Remember I said earlier in today's training, I talked about how roughly for every 100,000 books, there's only about 5,000 of them that have been made into audiobooks. You remember I said that when I said that? Well, guess what? The majority of the balance of those books have audio rights which reside with the authors. You get that? That means, let me tell you what that means. That means that there is a whole huge field out there of authors that own their audiobook rights. They have no idea how to monetize them. And if you make the right right deal, you could swoop in and buy them for practically nothing. $50 or $100 to buy an entire book. The audiobooks to the audiobook rights to that book. So, and then there's a huge inventory of those books, right? So that's a huge opportunity. And the other thing is in this training, we show you a marketplace where you could actually find people that are looking. Let's say you're a narrator, you want to just do the voiceover work. You can go in this program as a business and pick up royalty share clients and have a piece of the action. You're of course being the narrator, but we show you where to go and how to do that. Okay? So that's really exciting to me.
Yeah, and also just jumping ahead, I mean, you could probably look for, popular hot-selling niches and look for, shortages in the market to see where there's audiobooks that are lacking and just jump on that. I mean, the potential, I think, is endless here, especially now.
Exactly, and that's one of the reasons why I started by saying that there is an aperture, an opening in the marketplace that exists right now that I hope that you will seize, because it's just kind of like Kindle. I mean, Kindle now, I was one of the first guys back about 3 years ago, and I started doing Kindle webinars. And I was one of the only guys out there. I think it was me, and then maybe it was James Jones, and we did it for a long time before anyone else jumped on board. And now Kindle is, it still represents a great thing, and I still am working the Kindle thing, but it's more difficult now than it used to be, and it probably will continue to be like that. But see, now we're in blue water here. You are in blue water. This is blue water sailing. There's, very few other people out there that know about this. Of course, now I'm starting to make a teeny tiny little rattle of a noise in the marketplace, but I'm not, a huge conglomerate, publishing guy. Okay, so my reach is only going to go so far, but it's not going to be open. I mean, it will not be this blue water sailing for very long. I give it 6, 9, 10 months, maybe a year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say, I mean, right now, most authors don't have a clue as to where to probably even start on how to get an audiobook together. So if you can look at this in a different way, too, this is kind of like a business in a box where you can be that person and offer that service, whether it's for your own books or whether it's for other people's books. I mean, the market is wide open for this right now.
It is indeed. It is indeed. Okay, and the place that you need to go grab this special deal is realfastaudiobook.com/go-Amy-Deb. The link is also in the chat area. You can actually click on it from the chat area. Or if you're listening to this on a replay or rebroadcast, it's also below where you are now watching the this broadcast. Okay, it's right below that. Okay.
I got one really good question here that we didn't talk about yet.
Let's hear it.
Would you, David Norrington asks, would you ever use automated software for voiceovers?
I would not. I would not, David, and the reason I would not is because people that are buying audiobooks expect a good quality voice to be narrating. And I just don't think, at least not with the present technology, at least not that I'm aware of, where you get that, where you'll be able to get that. Okay? Now, I promised, because we're coming up to the top of the hour, I promised people that stuck all the way through a special bonus training on how to get all the content that you possibly can need. And let me tell you this. Let's say that your first step is going to be, hey, pick a niche that is hot and selling within Kindle. Pick some niche, and preferably something that you have a little bit of a knowledge base or at least are interested in. Okay. Second thing is, I want you to pick that niche and then go find an expert in that niche. And you're going to make a proposition to that expert that goes something like this. You're going to say, hey, look, I know you're an expert. You know a lot about this topic, and I want to do a sort of joint venture with you. I want to do a deal with you where I want to interview you, and I'm going to essentially give you mutual, non-exclusive rights to that interview. And in fact, I'm going to audio record our interview. I'm going to clean up, edit our audio, and you could give that audio away to your clients as a bonus. You can post it on your website. You can post it as a podcast. You can, burn it to a CD and sell it as a CD if you wish. You can do with it anything you want after we're finished, and I will clean it up, and it'll look, it'll sound great. In return, I want to be able to do the same thing. In other words, I can do with it whatever I wish. I can put it into a book or do whatever I want. Now, this helps your fame, right? It helps spread the good news about you, but it was my efforts to do that. And you do a quid pro quo. That is the consideration. And I'm telling you here now that 7 out of 10 experts will say yes to that proposition. And here's why. It is highly, unlikely that they would ever do it themselves. The downside is nothing from their standpoint, just maybe giving up an hour or two to do an audio recording. But it's got huge upside to you because you know what to do with it, right? You know to have that audio transcribed, to clean it up, put it into a Kindle book, and then take the Kindle book and make an audio book out of it. You know how to do all that. And you can have unlimited free content using this strategy. So I wanted to sort of leave you with that. And any other questions? What do you think of that, by the way? I'd like to know. Does that turn you on? Sarah says, yes, I like that idea. Great. Again, the place you go to grab this deal is realfastaudiobook.com/GoAmyDeb, or click the link directly below if you are listening to a rebroadcast. And if you are listening to a rebroadcast, make sure you click that link and invest in yourself by investing in this offer before this page expires. There's probably a ticking timer up above. See it up there? Yeah, and by the way, this thing will automatically go away when it gets down to that. It's just set that way. Okay. Any other questions, Deb or Amy, before we
I think we definitely covered everything and more. And I just want to say thank you so much again for your time. This was a wonderful training session, and just I think that people should start to take advantage of this wonderful opportunity we have here now.
Excellent.
Yeah,
well, thank you.
Thank you. That was
thank
so
you,
great.
Amy. Appreciate you saying that, and I appreciate you too, Deb, for giving me the opportunity, because you know, it's an honor and a privilege to get to work with folks like you and get to work with your people, and that's the way I approach it and the way I see it. It's my privilege, not your privilege to have me. It's my privilege to be able to be here and get to present. So thank both of you, and thank everyone that's still here. We still have a number of you still here, and I really appreciate it. I do want to give you one last call to action. This is the time. The door is closing on this offer. Go to realfastaudiobook.com/GoAmyDeb and grab this special deal. And God bless. God bless to each and every one of you. And even if you don't take me up on this offer, I don't know why you wouldn't, but even if you don't, I gave you step-by-step instructions today that you could follow and you could put into practice. So do something with today's time. Get something done to further your business and to further your more abundant life, because really that's what I'm all about. Deb, Amy, back over to you. Once again, thanks and God bless.
Thanks, Daniel, and thanks everyone for coming here tonight. We appreciate your company, and we hope you have a great weekend.
Yeah, everyone, thanks again for being here. Thank you, Daniel. This is great. I'm looking forward to even seeing it again on the replay because it was so good. And have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.